And it's Ken Kraetzer for Cam Vets Media. We're at West Point. Army football through Friday of their first week of summer camp practice season. Today they wore helmets and shoulder pads. Next week they'll go to full equipment for practice and watch some of the quarterbacks play in on a scrimmage at the end of practice. Cale Helms had a nice run, and Samari Howard had a nice catch and over the middle. Dwayne Coleman was running well. Mitch Bolden was making plays. Also Corey Singleton, and Cale Helm had a nice touchdown pass. I didn't catch who caught it because he had a green jersey on, but it was a nice play. We talked afterwards with the defensive coordinator, Nate Woody, and obviously a lot of concern with the number of starters that graduated, the whole defensive backfield, but he feels good about the players that are here and the competition for opportunities to play. And of course, he's got Max DiDomenico, one of the captains, and also the likes of Andre Miller and Caleb Fordner, the junior linebacker. Really had such a big play against Navy, the game-breaking play, the sack and strip of the ball, and picking it up to run for a touchdown. Will always be remembered by Army football fans. But now he's a known quantity. He's going to get a lot of attention from the defense. Defenses in the American Football Conference. We talked to Coach Woody a little bit about that, about being in a new conference. And he said, it doesn't really make a difference. He focuses on getting his players ready, getting them set to play as fast as they can. That's what he emphasized, speed. Not thinking, but being able to react quickly to each play and getting them ready. And he said it's really the same defense he's been playing for 20 years. But he'll tweak it a little bit for the season. And so there'll always be something new. And he sees that his defenses tend to get better as the season goes along. And he doesn't think it's going to be any different this year. So he's got his team ready. He said he's got the players that are recruited to play his style of defense. And a lot of it this year is going to be stopping the big quarterbacks in the American Football Conference, stopping the big plays, and and forcing it into a grinded out type of game that the Army offense, which has got a lot of experience, Bryson Daly can win games with. I said with Caleb Fordner, number 53, and he talks about the defense always will want to work with each other, support each other. They're being a brotherhood. He had 68 tackles playing 12 games last year, 2.5 sacks. Of course, the TD I mentioned earlier against Navy. And he's working on his footwork and fundamentals. And he talked about last year he started, at this time in the summer camp, he was a fourth-string linebacker and moved all the way up. And he didn't have any difficulties with affirming, as each of the juniors will do. First day they sat in class, they affirmed to their 5 years of Army service. He said service means everything to him. Talked a little bit to number 2, Chance Keith, who's from Biloxi, Mississippi, and he played 11 games last year, a lot of special teams, but he's going to be filling in. He's got to be a very active part of the defensive backfield as a nickelback. And he tries to lead when he's out on the field, and he wants to do it all. Very well-spoken young man, very ambitious about his Army career. And he said, for everybody, it's a challenge being at West Point, but that he kind of figured it out, what he had to do to succeed here at the U.S. Military Academy. And he said it's all about the people here at West Point. People that he meets, the officers, the mentors, instructors, and classmates, and, of course, football. And talked to Andre Miller, the big defensive lineman, number 97 from Savannah, Georgia. And he talked a little bit about the injury at Syracuse, where he scared everybody. He was down on the turf for almost 10 minutes. But he recovered. He got in a couple of games later in the year. And he mentioned that on the field that day, a couple of players came over and tapped him. And Kyle Lewis and Chris Frey in particular, giving him confidence at that moment. And I asked him about rebuilding his confidence. And he said it's been a challenge, but great training staff here at West Point and coaches and teammates to encourage him to recovery. One of the things that he is noted for is his volunteer community service work. He said he likes to go back to the schools back in his native Savannah, Georgia, and work with the children on reading. He'll read to the younger kids and then work with the older kids on reading skills. So he's been nominated for the Woelfel Trophy and for community service, and he's on the AFCA Good Work Team on Literacy Watch List. And what a great representative is. He spoke so genuinely about enjoying going back to the schools and working with the children there. And most important thing he said is that he's 100%. He's back to full speed and looking forward to the season. So we're just wrapping up. We'll be back here for Saturday practice in the afternoon, and that'll wrap up the first week of Army football practice. Following 2 Saturdays, they'll have a scrimmage, and then in 2 weeks after that, they'll have the opening weekend game against Lehigh. Great to be here. This is Ken Kraetzer for Cam Vets Media. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military and veterans proudly since 2008. Thanks for watching.